It's Thursday, June 3rd, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about the end. The end of Lost, which we've all seen. It's over. I really had no expectations going into this finale. I had hopes. I had hopes that I would be satisfied with it. But I really had no expectations as far as, well, this needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and this needs to be wrapped up. No, I was just wanting to know how it was all going to come to the end. Actually, thinking about that now, that's not entirely true. I did have two expectations. One, I expected the Sideways world to be very clearly resolved. I didn't want that open to interpretation, which, checkmark, they totally did that. And two, I expected to be, like, emotionally moved, which, no problem. Here's my thoughts on the light in the heart of the island, and that's what I love about the finale, is that it's kind of open-ended in that we can put in our own interpretations based on what we believe into the story, and nobody's completely right and nobody's completely wrong. I think that the light in the heart of the island is very similar to the light that ultimately bathes the church at the end of this episode. I think that the island and the light were seminally important into souls moving on to the next phase, whatever that is. Not just for our lost characters, but for everyone in the world. Oh my god, let's talk about the fight scene between the Loch Ness Monster and Jack. Epic. Like, when that was on the screen, I just kept going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The Loch Ness Monster stabs Jack with his knife, appendix scar my ass, but ultimately, Kate comes and shoots him in the back in a very kind of Ripley from Aliens girl power, yeah, moment. Frank Lapidus isn't dead. I totally lost money on that one. I thought he was a goner. And he and Miles and the now aging Richard Alpert are trying the best they can to fix Ajira 316. Miles has probably the best line in the episode. I don't believe in much, but I do believe in duct tape. That needs to be on a t-shirt for me to buy. And I love, 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 exclamation point, that Hurley is the protector of the island. It goes with the thinking that I particularly like, that those who are the most deserving of power are the people who do not seek it. Hurley never wanted to be a leader, which makes him the most qualified for the job because of his big heart. I like the idea that Hurley will not run the island the way that Jacob did. He's going to set in his own rules and his own way of doing things. Can we say spin-off, please? Let's talk about the Sideways world now, or as I'm calling it, Kleenex Land, because man, did I cry a lot. How great was that scene where Hurley goes to kidnap Charlie, and Charlie opens the door, and Hurley just cannot suppress the smile he has from seeing his old friend again. I just loved that. Every awakening sequence had me in tears. A lot of people are really bugged by the Sayid-Shannon awakening. Any instance where Sayid is happy and we get to have people back from season 1, I'm totally okay with. After Jack fixes Locke and they have that identical scene where Locke wiggles his toes and that triggers his awakening, I got goosebumps like I did in Walkabout. Everybody's converging at the church where in the regular reality held the lamppost Dharma station. Ben is waiting outside. He still has some work to do. I think he has to go and work through his issues with Rousseau and his daughter. And Locke comes and we have one last great scene between the two master actors of the show. This really was like the redemption of John Locke, because although he did die, his beliefs and his ideas about the island are ultimately what motivated others to save it. Therefore, he was vindicated as a character. Plus, he gets to walk again. I just loved it. Jack had kind of flashes of what happened to him on the island, but he's really been kind of denying it and pushing it away. And it isn't until he goes to the church and he comes face to face with his father's coffin that he starts to remember his life on the island. And then Christian Shepherd appears. Jack finally deduces that he died too, and we learn that the Sideways world is call it purgatory. I hate that word in this instance. It's just a place that all of our losties created together because the most important time of their lives was spent together on this island, and they, as a group, wanted to go on to whatever is next together. We cut back and forth between all of our castaways being reunited and awake and aware of one another and having a reunion, and we cut that between Jack walking back to where he first awoke in the pilot 6 years ago. As soon as this sequence started, forget it. I mean, tears were streaming down my face. And then it got to an unbearable point when this happened. I don't care who you are or what your thoughts were on the finale. If you were not emotionally touched by Vincent coming to lay with Jack as he's dying, you do not have a soul. And appropriately, the last image of Lost mirrors the first, and we had Jack's eye opening in the pilot, and here in the finale, we have Jack's eye closing as he dies. I don't think I was prepared for how heart-wrenchingly beautiful it was. Truly, it was the most beautiful way the show could have ended. Just the peace that I get from the fact that out somewhere they're all together again is just fantastically satisfying, and I love it, and I'm starting to cry again. Good Lord, you're not even watching the episode, you're just talking about it. If you live together in that community, you will never die alone. Even if you are dying on the jungle floor with a golden retriever as your friend, you're not alone, you know? And it's just so, oh, my heart just hurts thinking about it, how achingly beautiful it is. So if you couldn't tell, I loved the finale. I know not everybody did, and that's okay. If you were watching the show for a certain reason, and that reason being explanations, yeah, I can totally understand how you would be disappointed, and that is your right. Like, you're not wrong if you didn't like it, is what I'm trying to say. But I hope you extend the same courtesy my way, and others who liked it, in that it's our right to love it just as much as it is your right to loathe it. As Liz mentioned, we're going to do a fun little video together to wrap up the Great Lost rewatch, so I will see you guys then.
We're going to need to watch that again.